On this bright sunny morning, Matilda and I lazily made our way out of Portalegre. The leisurely pace gave me the opportunity to calmly gaze back towards the westward plains over which we'd ridden the previous day. As we were now heading into the mountains, it felt like some kind of threshold had been crossed, and that a new phase was about to begin, not only on this particular ride, but in my life in general. I remember feeling a deep sense of calm satisfaction and joy as we began our gradual roll uphill towards the sky. Upon reaching the summit, and with the medieval town of Marvão coming into view on the horizon, I could feel the heavy load on my legs and heart easing off as the road flattened out. In that moment, I sensed that I was also dropping a heavy load from my shoulders. I think I'd now come to terms with the psychological and emotional pressures which I'd unconsciously allowed to weigh me down and largely control the direction of my life over the previous 20 years. It was finally time to let it all go and to begin writing a new history. The sheer thrill and exhilaration of accelerating down the other side of the mountain, with the wind washing powerfully over my face, began to fill my heart and mind with the fuel of optimism. I was now ready and willing to descend with speed, to voluntarily dive deep into the unknown in search of the pearls of wisdom and love. I think we all often suffer from the malady of thinking too much about things, such as the regrets of past actions, as well as worrying about an as yet unrealized future. How often are we truly living in the moment, being aware of exactly what's happening in the here and now? Life unfolds in a chain of instantaneous experiences. As time passes, those bites of momentary awareness become more and more distant memories. Both the simplest and greatest joy in life comes from an awareness and acceptance of our present existence. On this day, I was determined to just enjoy the views while rolling along the road less travelled. Alright, well it's the afternoon of day 4 and I've made it to Marvão. It was a pretty decent climb up from Portalegre, about 5 kilometers, but it's an amazing place up here, this medieval town. Just been up to look at the castle over there, just having a bit of a break, and then heading back down the hill to the camping ground for the evening. But I'll give you a bit of a scan around. This is just absolutely amazing in all directions. Day 5 marked the midpoint of this current trip as I shifted course back towards the Atlantic coast. Emotionally, it was also a kind of transitional day. With the ride itself being a relatively short one, I was granted a respite from the physical demands of having to propel myself forwards to and often beyond the point of exhaustion. My mind was free to enjoy the day as it unfolded, to speed along the backcountry roads, to soar over the fields, and to bathe in the warmth of the sun. I received the grace of truly knowing what it means to live in the now. As Matilda and I approached the Turku for a second time on this trip, the mood was quite different than during our first encounter. Physically and mentally, this was to be a very heavy day. The entire morning was spent pretty much head down and bum up as we navigated through incessant bouts of heavy rain, which had us both soaked through to the core. However, the inclement weather did ease off for a few hours during the afternoon. This gave us the welcome opportunity to fully appreciate a beautiful sequence of climbs and descents through a fairly rugged and remote backcountry area. approached to Vila de Rei, the rain had already returned, but this time it was somehow softer, almost embracingly so.
G'day. Day 6 afternoon, and I've made it to the geodesic centre of Portugal, which is just nearby Vila de Rei, which I'll be staying for the night. It's been a decent day of climbing from Alagoa, where I was staying last night. But anyway, I've made it. It's been a drizzly, rainy day all day, but there's been a bit of sun out, so definitely worth it, and it's been warm, so nothing too much to worry about. Anyway, here we are at the heart of Portugal. Our journey continues.
Matilda and I had arrived at the geodesic centre of Portugal. At the same time, I felt like I'd also arrived at my own personal centre, at the core understanding that everything was going to be okay, no matter what.